Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Cabinet meeting on this beautiful day outside. Welcome to everybody here, and welcome to everyone who's joining this at home. We begin our meeting with apologies for absence. We have Councillor Watson and Councillor Renner-Thompson. Are there any more? Don't think so. The next item is are the minutes of the last meeting. I will sign those as a true correct record at the end of this meeting if you are happy with them. If you are, is there a proposer for those? Proposed by Councillor Wearmouth and seconded by Councillor Stewart. Thank you. Disclosure of members' interests. Are there any that anyone would like to declare at this stage on any of the items we're going to be talking about? Okay. The next one is the first report today, which is from the Deputy Leader and Cabinet Member for Corporate Services, Councillor Richard Wearmouth, who's going to talk to us about the report of the loan to Northumberland Community Bank.
Thank you, Leader. So the Northumberland Community Bank does really important work across the county, making sure that people have access to loans at a fair rate and therefore that removes the risk that they're driven into the arms of loan sharks or similar people who might otherwise be having to approach in order to look after day-to-day finance. This is quite a long and complicated report in some respects. It deals with a loan of £50,000 to the community bank, and this is effectively to make sure that their capital to asset ratio remains in accordance with the requirements of the Financial Conduct Authority. The bank does, as I say, does absolutely fantastic work. It's really important in the scheme of the council's own approach to inequalities, making sure that we've got that presence in our communities to provide those lending facilities. And this proposal in terms of the loan has gone through a risk appraisal panel already within the council. Some questions were posed to the finance team and satisfactorily answered, such that all of those that were on the risk appraisal panel were happy that this went forward to Cabinet and recommended for approval. I'm happy, therefore, to propose that to you and look for a seconder.
I'll second that. Any comments on this? Yes, Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Leader. I'm absolutely supportive of this loan to the community bank. It provides a vital service to our residents, especially during these difficult times.
Thank you very much. I think we probably all are. We probably all remember the days of the really, really bad days of loan sharks, and the fact that there still is lending today that takes advantage of people who are at their most vulnerable. And so the link to our corporate plan is written here, which is that we will care for all our residents, supporting the most vulnerable in our society, as well as encouraging active citizens. We will ensure the best education standards for our children and young people. That is the key upon which this recommendation is made, that we are wanting to channel some support to the community bank, which is there to avoid people being caught up in an endless spiral of debt and making those people who have the least amount of money the most hard up. So this is what it is all about, just trying to help the most vulnerable in our society. So we've had a proposal, and I've seconded it. If there are no more questions, can we take a vote, please? That is unanimous. Thank you very much. We move on to our second paper, which is a very interesting summary of significant spending across the county. The first one, and what I'm proposing to do is take each one and ask a Cabinet member to speak to each, and then at the end we will take a proposer and seconder for all of them together, assuming that we are all happy with them. So this is a report of the Deputy Leader. I think we can just go straight into the first one, Councillor Wearmouth. So 2.1 is the Capita One EMS system module. Tell us what on earth that means, and also why you think we should be supporting this.
Thank you, Leader. So I've racked my brains as to how to make this sound exciting. And failed a little bit, because sometimes in the council it's just necessary that we reprofile money from one budget to another, as is required by our processes. And what we have here is an underspend in one part of our budget, and we're looking to therefore to move that £19,920 to cover this additional spend that we need on this Capital One EMS system, and that's a Children's Services Education Management System. And there's a fair amount of detail in the report there in terms of the types of things that it's covering. So it involves a low-risk transition from the previous service model, cloud service support, digital transformation, cost-effective high-value solutions supporting mobile working, and a number of other measures. But that's about as interesting as I can make a reprofiling in the budget. Thank you. So happy to propose that one.
Thank you very much. So we will park that one and come back to it at the end with the others, unless there are any specific questions. Everybody happy to move on? The next one is the County Hall Solar PV carport. Everyone that has been down to the car park below County Hall will see what an enormous project this is. This is a multi-million-pound project which is part funded through ERDF funding, European funding, and also from our own capital programme. It will provide the energy for County Hall and will save us in excess of £4 million over the lifetime of this development in cost of electricity. And it will also provide, of course, electric charging points for users of electric vehicles. So it is a great thing we're doing here. A very big job. The cost has gone up because of the actual cell cost themselves, the solar cells. And so we are asking here for some extra money to make sure that this job is completed on time and in its entirety. Yes, Richard.
Thank you, Leader. So just to sort of note that this is money that's coming in from the European Regional Development Fund of £423,000. So it's not coming from within our budget, it's coming from European fund, and we're accepting the money, which may seem a ridiculous thing that you have to accept money when someone wants to give it to you, but of course we do need to for our own internal process.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone happy with this? We move on. The next one is the Great Northumberland Forest Storm Arwen restoration. And everyone will remember 2 years ago of the damage that was caused by this horrific event. It wasn't just the effect on communities and individuals and towns and villages across the county that lost their power for so long. It also had a devastating effect on much of the woodland, particularly in the north and coastal areas in Northumberland, to the extent that hundreds and hundreds of trees were blown down. They all need to be clear-felled and replanted. So DEFRA have come up with this £1.5 million fund, which will be dealt with by the County Council and will be open to eligible woodland owners. So I think it's a good move. It will help repair the damage that was caused and will provide the funding necessary to ensure that effective replanting takes place. Everyone happy, this one? Okay, then we move on to New Hartley First School classroom modifications. Richard Wearmouth.
Thank you, Leader. So this is a really great project for New Hartley First School. It's looking at the creation of two separate classrooms, years 1 and 2, within the existing building space. Speaking to colleagues and speaking to Councillor Ryan Thompson, who sadly can't be here for the meeting today, this is really important work. The building is a rather irregular and unusual size, which doesn't help when it comes to creating a good learning environment for the students. And so very happy to propose this one as well.
Lovely, thank you. Yes, Councillor Ferguson.
Yeah, it was just a comment on that. Leah is as the local member for Hartley Ward, where this school is located, I'm aware of the challenges that the school has around the space that it has within it. So I know that this will be really greatly welcomed in terms of actually trying to create a better space that's more conducive to learning. I know that'll be really happily accepted and make a great difference to those people in that school. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much for that. Everyone happy in case of any questions, or shall we move on? Move on to the Blythe Energy Central Campus Phase 1, the Learning Hub. Wojciech Bożaj.
Thank you, Leader. The Energy Central Learning Hub is a fantastic project which is part of our Energizing Blythe program, a 90 million worth scheme to regenerate Blythe Town Centre. It will deliver the new vocational state-of-art training center for green energy skills with industry partnership. We work closely with OREC Catapult and Port of Blythe on it. It will equip young people with necessary skills to make a successful career in fast-growing industry and have a positive impact on the economic regeneration of the town of Blythe. The report seeks an approval for project budget reprofiling to build a sensible and safe contingency. No new money, it's just reprofiling.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Any comments on this? No, we're all happy. Good. A very important piece of work indeed. And then the final one is Prado Waterworld Improvement Scheme. This is a new item on our capital programme. We feel that Prado Waterworld needs some investment and some improvement. So this is to agree the initial £250,000 to do the necessary investigation work and to decide what we will be doing there, and we will be talking to residents and we'll be talking to the staff as well as listening to our experts. And it will be a total of £1.5 million that we will invest in Prado. This has been something that's very important to Councillor Stewart, who's raised it with me on a number of occasions, and I've actually been to see Waterworld, and I agree that there is definitely a need for some new maintenance in certain areas there. So I'm very pleased that we have got this included. Councillor Stewart, do you want to say anything?
For indulging in this. This is massive news for Prado and the Tynedale area. Except it's not the first major administration to invest such large amount of resources into Prado, but the last one was probably in 1120 when the Umferville family built Prado Castle. This Conservative administration has done so much in the last few years. Both Prado Castle and Prado Waterworld are more than just features on the landscape. They are actually tourist attractions, and we're seeing more and more people coming from the county, the region and elsewhere to enjoy the great facilities in Prado. It's at a time when membership of Active Northumberlands sees record heights, and we see neighbouring authorities closing down their leisure centres and facilities. And Bowling Green, which you visited yesterday, Leader, we're seeing lots of members coming in from the Gateshead area. So we're spending some money. Yeah, I'll mention it again, £1.5 million going into what some people may call the baths, but it's more than that. It is a leisure centre which we're making fit for the future. It is fit for purpose now. It's got a lot of life in it, but we need to modernise and make it for the modern world post-COVID as we move forward. So we welcome this. It's tackling inequalities in the area, which I know we're all passionate about. It's supporting our businesses, and we're getting value for money out of this. And I will be watching, make sure we do get value for money out of this as well. And we're retaining and creating jobs. So thank you, Leader, for personal interest in this one. Councillor Watson, Guy Upham, MP, and the officers who have worked on this. And hopefully the Cabinet will support this today. I may also mention Richard, the manager of Waterworld, and his fantastic friendly staff there. You met some of them yesterday, Leader. And they do a brilliant job. And that is part of the friendly attitude we've got in Prado, why people come from so far away. So such investment shows that Prado matters, and everybody can be very proud of Prado moving forward. And as I will finish on this, Leader. You visited Prado yesterday and you went down to Eastwoods Park. That was a park which is over 100 years old. It was abandoned for 20 years until 2017. Now we're seeing great investment in there. because we're consulting with the town council and the communities. We're running that great park as a combined public interest there. So again, we're investing money there. It's so important for the future of the town. It is now an award-winning park, and I will not shut up, Leader. I will be asking for more money for Prudhoe.
Yes, I don't doubt that. I had a very, very nice day yesterday, meeting a number of people, and I particularly liked to meet the staff that I met in Waterworld. They were really nice and very, very, very motivated and encouraged by the news that we might be investing. So this is really good news. That, if there are no more questions, takes us to the conclusion of these capital strategy recommendations. There are, from between 2.1 and 2.6, I would like to propose these. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Riddle. Are you all in favour? Yes, that's unanimous. So thank you very much indeed for that, and it's really great news and providing value for money, tackling inequalities and supporting business. Okay, so now talking about investing to save and investing in our county, we move to the Enhanced Pothole Repair Invest to Save trial. Councillor Riddle, tell us about what we're doing with this, please.
Thank you, Leader. Before I actually introduce the paper, I'd just like to raise one or two other points. You know, improving the condition of our highway network is one of our corporate priorities. And over the last 5 years, this administration has invested over £150 million in highways. And the capital highway maintenance budgets are generally provided through the LTP capital grant allocation, but that has been supplemented, as you and all members of the council know, to the tune of an additional 17.225 million for specifically to help improve the condition of U and C roads. And that is on top of money that my good officers have managed to secure through bids to the Challenge Fund, etc. You know, we've had money for Forest Hall Road improvements, and more recently £3.7 million was gained for the refurbishment work to 8 steel bridges. So that, together with, you know, what we already have in the highway maintenance for LTP fund of 20.863 million, and that is supplemented again by the further 3.8 million that government announced for us for additional pothole funding. So that makes a very significant difference and a good difference at the end of the day. But on top of that, you know, this administration has invested heavily in new plant and equipment. And we've got the 4 new gully suckers, we've got, I think, the 9 new snow ploughs and gritting machines, and the Pothole Pro. So this all adds to our armoury to keep and improve our network. So moving on to the Invest to Save trial that I'm proposing. This trial will be, we get approximately 40,000 pothole queries per year, which is quite significant, but it's not unique. We are a big, large county. This trial seeks to have a different approach to the repair of these potholes. Instead of having splodges, we want proper cutouts and long-lasting repairs, which I'm sure is what the public keep asking us for as well. So what I'm proposing is that we have 2 trials, one in the Tynedale area and one in the northern area of the county, and that we then evaluate all this work and see if this is a good way forward. I'm confident that it will be, but we have to have the evidence to support that. So this is truly, in my opinion, an Invest to Save initiative. It'll cost us to the tune of £492,600, but I think it's worth doing. And I propose the recommendations.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Patterson. Right, thank you very much for that very interesting resume. So this is to find nearly £500,000 in order to trial, instead of doing the reactive repairs, which we have to do on our roads, to actually to kind of repair a section, to cut out, to dispose of the old material and to fill with a proper patch. which will last, I understand, for a significantly longer time than the repairs that we are currently carrying out, which we have to carry out in this way because we have to react to potholes. But this sounds really interesting. Any thoughts, any questions? Yes, Councillor Horncastle.
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, I'll support Councillor Riddle in this. I am in favour of the trial because it's the only way we're going to get the answers to the questions that we're asking. And we have got to find a better, more permanent way of fixing these so-called potholes. So we do need to find a more permanent fix. And this after you look into, when you look into this will give us a more permanent fix. I have got a couple of questions for John, but not too onerous, John, don't worry. But before I ask the questions, there's a little criticism here, and it's not criticism of this council, of its officers. It's a criticism of this ridiculously strict health and safety world we live in that has put horrendous costs onto this project, because there's some, when you're looking at the amount of people and plant that has to be involved in doing this, it seems a bit over the top to me, but we have to do it. It's not any criticism here. It's national. So the questions, John, is on the pothole infills that we're still doing, we will still be doing, is there any chance at all that we could have them done a bit better, slight improvement, and inspected a bit more? Because we've all discussed some terrible repairs that's been done, that you've showed us photographs, repairs that weren't really fit the purpose. So is there any way of having them better inspected? That's one question. And the other question is there anything we can learn from neighbouring authorities on these, how they do their infills?
Thank you, Councillor Castle. I really have to defer that to Paul Jones, who's my officer behind, because, you know, you're talking about operational issues here, and as far as I'm concerned, the inspector should be inspecting the work that is done. It should be to a good standard, and if it's not, then, you know, we want to know why not, and we want to rectify that. But I would have to defer what's happening in other areas. I'm not aware, but what I am aware of is that our roads in Northumberland are, I think, significantly better than what they are in other counties around about. And when travelling throughout the country as well, our roads are in quite good condition, and we have one heck of a lot of them. We have about 3,500 miles of roads in Northumberland. What I would like to say is that this trial will not have any detrimental impact on the other work that's going on. This will be additional contractors, staff that will be brought in to do this trial. It will not hinder in any way any other planned and reactive repairs. You know, this will be not on Category 1 repairs, which are the repairs that have to be done within between 2 and 24 hours. This will be on the vast majority of repairs that we get, which is a much greater number per year.
Yes, that's excellent. Having travelled around the country, I can tell you that Northumberland is, in my view, rapidly improving in terms of its roads. I pay great tribute to our staff who do a great job, and I'm really happy with the way things are moving forward. Of course, we still have difficult winters. Of course, we still have the weather that creates potholes, and of course, we have to deal with them. I think you said something like 40,000 a year we have to deal with. Well, that's a massive amount to look after. But the roads belong to the people, and it's our responsibility to look after them the best we can, and that is exactly what we're doing. So, as well as the reactive repairs that we're carrying out, which will continue, we are trying this trial in 2 parts of the county to see if the longer-lasting patching actually does provide value for money, and if it does, we will then review the way we do things. But clearly, it is absolutely the right way to go, and I'm very grateful to you for raising this. I think absolutely it'll be very interesting and absolutely the right thing for us to do. Are there any other questions from anyone else? No, sorry? Thank you. Anything else from any Cabinet members? No. Okay, in that case then, we've had a proposer and a seconder. Can I assume that you're all happy by showing your hands? Lovely. That's great. Thank you very much indeed. Now, the next item is around the Ashington Regeneration Programme establishment, and I welcome Councillor Ball as a guest to the Cabinet. You're very welcome. I'll take you after we've had our discussion within the Cabinet, if that's okay, but more than happy to have you here, and you're welcome. And Jim Lang, very nice to see you as well this morning. Okay, so the Ashington Regeneration Programme establishment goes to Wojciech Pojai, who's going to give us a rundown of this really important initiative.
Thank you, Leader. This report is providing us an update about the development of Ashington Regeneration Programme. Following the successful town regeneration schemes like Energizing Blythe, we thought we need to move to another town, and we decided we want to do the same kind of scheme in Ashington. This program is comprehensive 30 million scheme aimed at revitalizing Ashington. Over the past several years, the town has been declining economic vitality, and this initiative is designed to stimulate economic growth and address inequality and breathing new life into the area. It will deliver, just in a nutshell, it will deliver a new cinema in Portland Park, new infrastructure around it. We will redevelop Wansbeck Square and Grand Corner. We'll provide new public realm improvements and connectivity schemes to improvement pedestrian movement in the town center. There are also a few great schemes like Accelerate Ashington, supporting a range of existing businesses to adapt and grow, which is delivered by Advanced Northumberland. There is also Animating Ashington, which will provide a range of cultural events and activities in the town center, engaging local people and attract visitors to the town. The program builds on numerous public-led investment in the area over the past decade. These include the development of new leisure center and a large retail space, and also the reopening of the passenger rail services via the Northumberland line. The Council has also facilitated the creation of Ashington Town Investment Plan, which provides a strategic roadmap for the town's economic growth. The government has granted us an additional 16.4 million to aid the transformation of the town centre. However, this grant comes with a condition that all funding needs to be spent by March 2025. And we identified few challenges for that around progressing design development, securing external operators for these facilities, and ensuring compliance with public funding regulations and confirming the funding package. To overcome those and speed up the project development, an additional capital grant of £1.6 million has been requested as part of the recommendations. There are also a few recommendations to acquire Wansbeck Square and Grand Corner sites to accelerate the project. Further decisions on the program and its implications are set to be presented in autumn this year, with individual business cases for the flagship projects to follow. I truly recommend that project, and I would like to propose the report. I hope I got a seconder and your support.
You're proposing the recommendations. Is there a seconder? There is a seconder from Councillor Ferguson. Thank you for that. Okay, so there are a number of areas of action here, which all look very exciting. I'm going to ask Councillor Wearmouth to just give us a little bit more background, because he's been involved in this, as to our plans for Ashington.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you, Councillor Pojai. Ashington's a fantastic town, and we're really keen to see it thrive and succeed. Over the last however many years it's been, six years as an administration, we've done a lot to put in place building blocks to make sure that we can see Ashington thrive. We've attracted that funding, that full funding for the Northumberland line, which will be a transformational project for the town and other towns up and down that route. A massive, massive achievement for this council. 60 years in the waiting, and there are going to be passenger trains back to the centre of Ashington next year. We've got a new college building being built in the town centre, close to the centre so that students can access the facilities. It's a 45 million, maybe more, pound investment by the DFE, and one that we've worked closely with the DFE to make sure that it succeeded. And I'm sure there'll be more on that project soon, and the 3D renders and the data that we've seen already, it just looks fantastic. We've invested in Ashwood Business Park. We acquired that site as a council through Advanced Northumberland because we recognised that nothing very much was happening there at all. And we've attracted new employers to that site. We've put funding into it to make sure that you could actually see it because no one would even know it was there, and attracted the Eurogarages business, for example, onto that site. We've started up work across the town, as Councillor Proshine mentions, about a whole host of projects, because we know that it's really important in the regen space that you don't just see a funding application available and say, oh, right, now what are we going to do about that? And if I had a criticism of this council previously, perhaps it would be that when I got here in 2017, there wasn't really those sets of projects that you could take off the shelf and you could say, there we are, government, you've said that you've got this opportunity, we've got the exact thing that's going to match that funding and demonstrate what it is that you're looking to achieve. And so the board, the Ashington Town Board's been working really hard across the political spectrum, across all parts of the community to identify projects, identify things that need to happen in Ashington. And some of them are realised in this paper, and others will be recognised and realised in due course, I'm sure, as we look to that vision of making Ashington one of Northumberland's most successful towns, which it has every potential to be.
Absolutely. Very, very enthusiastic. Yes, Councillor Horncastle.
Thank you, Leader. Yes, this is positive news for Ashington. It's a town that suffered so much of deprivation with the change to the industrial landscape over the years. And we as administration are well aware of the problems in Ashington and will do and are doing our best to improve the lives of the people in Ashington and help make any businesses more sustainable. And I say that because as a member of the Cabinet, we often have this, well, we have discussions all the time, but I just know that this administration is doing its level best for Ashington and other areas in the southeast, and they are priorities. So we are looking at the whole county, but we're especially looking at these deprived areas, and on a regeneration of this scale, it's not something that's just done overnight. It takes many years to pull together, so I really welcome this.
Thank you very much. Yes, I mean, it is an exceptionally major announcement, this, that we are finding £30 million for Ashington. So all I can say is thank you very much to the town board, to everyone involved in actually getting plans ready in place and a firm set of proposals that will be delivered quickly, because we have to deliver it quickly. So I'm really, really, really proud of where we've got to with Ashington and the great benefits that its people will enjoy through this. Councillor Ball, I'll ask you to come in briefly as a local member.
Right. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. So I welcome £30 million for Ashington, but we need to remember £30 million is not a fantastic amount of money when inflation is going through the roof, and this project should have started a long time ago. Can I ask that we make sure we take the people of the town along with us, that there's participation, that there's communication, that we know the start date, the end date, and what's actually happening in our town, making sure that the businesses are involved, because previously when things have happened to our town, it's just turned up, the streets being closed, there's been other stuff happening, and it's really affected the existing businesses within the town, and we need to take the people and what's already there and the great stuff that we've already got and support that to grow, not just do stuff to the town. I am so proud to come from Ashington, and I keep on saying I'm a proud Ash lass and I will be till my dying day. So we've got Woodhorn, the Community Woods, QE2 Park, Hurst Park, with the home of World Cup winners in cricket and football, the Pitman Painters, and we need to celebrate them things that we've already got. And this is a real opportunity for Ashington, and all I'm going to say is don't mess it up, because I will be on your back if you do. And just make sure that we take people along. And remember, the leisure centre in Morpeth cost 21 million. So 31 million to transform Ashington is a drop in the ocean. But we had a request for more money for Prudhoe. I want more money for Ashington. And let's do some great stuff with it. And can we make sure that we take the people along with us and keep them lines of communication open? And can I have a start date, an end date, and what's actually going to be on these sites? Because as a local member, 2 of these developments are happening in my ward, and I'm getting to find out on Thursday at a presentation for the town council, not as me as the ward member. So I am disappointed, because when people are asking me what's happening, I'm finding out at the same time as pretty much everybody else. Thank you.
Lovely. Well, thank you for your enthusiastic support for this. It is a really important amount of money. 30 million is a huge amount of money, especially as we have to spend it in a very short time. So the future for Ashington has never been better. There have never been plans in place and significant funding found for Ashington. This is the start of the work. Now, you make a very very important point that we must keep people involved, and I believe that is part of the plan, because Ashington folk need to be able to say and have their view expressed and be part of the plan. They have to be part of the plan going forward, and they will be. So far as the local member is concerned, I'm sure that the project board will be briefing you and on a regular basis, because that's important too. It's very important that you are on board on this, and I'm sure that will happen. And if it doesn't happen, let me know. But I'm sure it will.
So say, don't worry, I will.
Yes, and I think the threat of you climbing on my back is actually so frightening that I will make sure that doesn't happen, and so it will be fine. We will spend the money, and we will create these jobs, and we will create this great new place for Ashington. Thank you for your contribution. Very nice to have seen you today. We've had the proposals. Oh yes, sorry, just come in.
Thank you.
Briefly.
Just to make sure that we don't forget, obviously. So 30 million, I mean, it's a fantastic thing for Ashington. It is, of course, in addition to the 45 or so million for the college. It's in addition to the 20 odd million that the station is probably costing if we try to sort of disentangle it from the wider costs of the Northumberland line. The many millions of pounds that we're spending at Ashwood to create a brilliant employment site and the already the businesses that we've attracted there. So when you add all of that up, I would think, Councillor Ball, that you're probably closer to 100 million. And don't forget that you did have a new leisure centre not that long ago as well, which was about £20 million investment by Councillor Reid's administration, I believe it was at the time.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for that. So I don't really want to get into a debate. Is there anything you'd like to add, Councillor Pojai, in your summing up?
I just wanted to add a few things. That £30 million is just a start. Usually we see in other towns that this kind of funding attracts other funding coming in due course. We see it in Blythe, not so far ago. It was a 70 million program. It's now 90 million program because we got another funding allocation from Dulic. In terms of communication, regarding the communication issues you mentioned, we will plan some engagement events like we do in other towns when such a big regeneration schemes are coming into there. And I will make sure that local members are briefed properly prior to town forums and things like that, just so you are aware of it.
Good. Thank you very much for that acknowledgement. I think it's really important that we take people with us and that they have a say in what happens. The proof will be in the pudding. And I am quite sure that by March 2025 there will be a significant difference, and I'm sure that you will be completely with us. So thank you all very much indeed. Before we move on, we have to take a vote on this. It's been proposed and seconded. Are you all in favour of the recommendations? You are? Okay, thank you very much indeed. We now move on to number 8, which is the Shared Prosperity Fund update and Northumberland delivery. Again, an enormously important paper. I'm going to ask Councillor Pojai to outline this for us.
Thank you. I will introduce the paper. The report serves to update the Council and the Cabinet on the UK Shared Prosperity Fund programme progress and the projects funded under it, aimed at enhancing levelling up activity across the county. UK Shared Prosperity Fund is an integral part of the UK government levelling up agenda, and it's replacing some of the European funding we had in the past. And it's dedicated to boost productivity, spread opportunities, and instilling a sense of community and empowering local leaders. The allocation for North of Tyne Combined Authority is about 51 million, if I'm correct. I would have to relook, but I think it's 51 million. And the Northumberland County Council has secured over £7 million from that allocation for various activities and support mechanisms across the county between 2022 and 2025. The significant achievement is made possible by UK SPF and the Rural England Prosperity Fund, which I'm sure Leader, as a rural portfolio holder, will want to elaborate a little bit more about. The allocation for that Rural England Prosperity Fund for the county is £3 million. The Council will play a pivotal role in implementing these UK SPF funded projects, including the Inclusive Economy Community Partnership Project, which is voluntary and community sector run initiative, which I'm sure Councillor Ferguson will also will want to elaborate a little bit more about. This project focuses on fostering an inclusive economy by building a capacity and launching support activities. It is highly recommended that the Council endorse this project, and along with the progress and content of the UK SPF investment and delivery plans for the North Tyne area. In addition to this project, the Council is actively involved in developing the UK SPF investment plan and securing early resources to prioritise Council objectives further. We've got some UK SPF allocation for Ashington, which was included in the previous paper. These schemes will revitalise local communities, support businesses, and, as I previously mentioned, foster inclusive economy and promote skills development among residents. And I think that's it from my point of view. I would like to recommend the report, and again, I'm proposing that.
Okay, thank you. So you're proposing that. There's a second there. Seconded by Councillor Riddle. Okay, before we vote on that, let's just take a couple of points, if we may. I mean, this is really a very full report, isn't it? It talks about the Rural England Prosperity Fund, which is hugely important, and then around the rural growth and stewardship, for example, looking at how we might manage the opportunities of the seasonal influx of visitors, which is an interesting point that we've been talking about before. And bringing the North to South Tyne River ramp, which is very important as well as our inclusive economy community partnership. The Ashington High Street Innovation Programme, which is going to make a significant difference again to Ashington. The Alnwick Winter Trail, Culture and Tourism, Small Business Service, which is something that the Federation of Small Businesses, when I met with them 6 months ago, felt was a really important thing that we should be trying to do more of, and there we are. That's what we're going to be doing. And so there's a huge amount of investment in here, and important projects. So, any questions from anyone? Yes, Councillor Riddle.
Yeah, I would just like to highlight the Rural England Prosperity Fund. You know, since the demise of Leader, which was very much a good thing in the rural areas and widely used, you know, this will go certainly some way, if not a long way, to replace that. And we should never underestimate the value of these small rural businesses. And this will be a great leg up for them, and for new and existing businesses, it will be very much well used, I'm sure.
Good, thank you very much. Any other points? Yes, Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you. Yeah. Obviously, any levelling up funding is vitally important in helping us tackle inequalities across the county. I'm very pleased to see that there's money in there to invest in people in skills to support getting people into work and helping them overcome the barriers that are preventing them currently. But also that there's money there to support people who are currently in work to improve their skills, to help them access jobs in our growing green economy. But also it's about helping people access better paid jobs. And with inflation and the issues that we have around that, having that funding there to support people to build and to grow themselves is really, really important. But I also just want to draw a bit of attention to obviously the money that's there for the link with the voluntary sector. So the voluntary sector falls under my portfolio anyway. And last week we celebrated Volunteers Week and the great work that volunteers throughout our county do. And I just want to draw a bit of attention to that actually we have a fantastic network of volunteers within Northumberland, and that we have great links with them through the council, and being able to continue with those links and to build those links and to use those links to get money into communities and into the people that really need it is vitally important. So I welcome this because I think it has such potential to really change the lives of many people in Northumberland. So, yeah.
That's very helpful, thank you. I would just, before I come to you, I would just like to read out that recommendation which is around the subject, which is to endorse the Inclusive Economy Community Partnership Project, which, working with the voluntary and community sector, will build capacity and deliver activities in support of the inclusive economy, focused in our most deprived communities. And if it's successful, which I'm sure it will be, accept 0.4 million capital and 1.5 million revenue funding into a medium-term financial plan. So that is actually making a very clear statement about what we are going to do with additional investment and how we will take that forward by finding money within our medium-term financial plan to help the very people that we need to help the most. And it's an exceptionally important part of this paper. Councillor Wormuth.
Thank you, Leader. I just wanted to really emphasise the point that Councillor Riddle was making. We've been very successful as a council in attracting money into Ashington, as we've heard earlier today, into Blythe. We've seen large amounts of spend in Berwick, and we've attracted, for example, the Heritage Action Zone money into Hexham. But there has been this bit that we've been really keen to tackle, which was the successor to the Leader programme, and making sure that we found funding support for everybody in the middle of all of our communities, that we really made sure that we had support for those rural businesses. And this does that alongside money that we've previously secured through North of Tyne, through your portfolio Leader. So this is really, really good news, and it's something that when I've been travelling around as well, that small businesses have really been keen to see the successor to Business Northumberland, and this puts that in place. It's absolutely fantastic.
So, a really important report. Anyone else want to make a comment? Then, if not, we have had the recommendations proposed and seconded. Could you show if you're all in favour, please? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much indeed. So that almost takes us to the end of the meeting. We have the nominations to outside bodies to consider. Two quick points from me. The first one is the Advanced Northumberland. We are in a transition stage with Advanced, as you know, and these names will gradually resign and be taken up by new members. So that we accept these for the moment, but they are, as I say, in transition. And then the other one is the Northumbria Healthcare NHS Foundation Trust governing body. Councillor Patterson probably needs to come off that because she is on so many other boards, and she can't find the time, and she's so important that everybody wants her but can't have her. So we will find a new name for that, and I will let you, Karen, know that within the next week. Any questions, comments? Everybody happy? So shall I propose those? And seconded, are you all in favour? Please show. That's unanimous. And that takes us to the end of... there are delegated decisions, and the delegated decisions are there for your information, which are around energising Blythe Central and the campus and phase one. Okay, are you all happy with those? Can I actually say that we just note these so we don't need to take a vote on them? That takes us to the end of the meeting. Can I thank you all very much indeed? Can I thank our visitors for coming and for you joining us from home?